Wait, it's not live yet. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good
Uh,
morning.
how you doing, Sister Elaina?
I'm upset.
I know you and
I'm,
me
I'm
both.
I'm highly upset. You know, we've been raising hell since what, 6 or 7 this morning.
Yeah.
Very disappointed. Very disappointed in our leadership. Very disappointed in our men. Very disappointed.
Well, we're getting ready to get into it. We're gonna talk about it. For those who aren't aware of the situation, I mean, which is an ongoing situation, let me just start by saying, well, welcome to the show today. But let me tell y'all what has got us riled up yet again. The basically public lynching of another one of our brothers. Brother Ahmaud Arbery in this was in Brunswick, Georgia. Is that correct, sister?
Yes, ma'am. That's located in South Georgia on the border, almost near Florida.
Brother Ahmaud was jogging in an area called Satilla Shores when he was basically stalked by two white men. I think it's a father and a son. And they claim, which I know is some bullshit, but they claim that they were looking, trying to find a burglar. But this brother was jogging, minding his business. These men rolled up on him, stalked him. He tried to go around and got out of their car with a gun. They got out clearly with an intent to do something to this young man. And he tried to avoid them, tried to go around them. The video is everywhere, y'all can see. And they basically lynched him right there in the streets in Brunswick, Georgia. Now, this happened, come to find out, all the way back in February.
Mm-hmm.
This is just coming out. The video is coming out and circulating around the internet, in the news, and everywhere. The thing is, family, these two black men have not been arrested, have not been charged with anything.
Mm-hmm.
They are at home chilling. Okay.
Chilling.
Yeah. And they have taken this young man's life, this young brother. So I've been posting about this because I'm pissed off. I'm angry. I'm sick of this shit. And I saw that Sister Elaina is from the Afro-Descendant Coalition, Afro-Descendant Nation Coalition. She's been posted. I could tell that she's very angry and upset too. So I asked Sister Elaina, did she want to come on and let's have a discussion? Because we can't just continue to sit here and just be picked off like this.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Elaina, I wanted you to come tell us, first of all, introduce yourself, tell the people a little bit about Afro-Descendant Nation, and then we're going to get into this.
Yes,
we're going to get into it.
Okay. All right.
This is beyond.
Mm-hmm. And I agree, Sister Yaa. First of all, my name is Elaina Porter. I'm one of the co-facilitators of the Afro-Descendant Nation Confederated USA. And what we are, we have declared a free association, insular nation, so we can realize our human rights. I'm going to take you back, and I'm going to have to give you a little political history lesson to what happened to us. After 1865, our ancestors had a choice. There was international and human rights law that pertained to our political situation that could have changed our political situation now. Our ancestors had a right to return to Africa. They had a right to set up their own autonomous region here in the United States. As a matter of fact, it is documented. After the Civil War, our ancestors, specifically down in that area around the coast of Georgia, told General Sherman that they felt like they wanted their own land. They wanted self-determination. They wanted autonomy because we had been abused so much. There was only one preacher who said that he wanted to stay with our oppressors, but the rest, they wanted their own autonomy. Well, the ball rolls on. The little gains that was made after the Civil War was taken, they used their laws, they used their rules to re-enslave us for our labor. Slavery never ended. And it's my position right now, slavery is still going on because, and Sister Yaa, you're from Mississippi. If you go to Mississippi, you're going to see some cotton fields in Angola prison camp. And guess who's still picking that goddamn cotton? Our people's picking it. Because guess what? We have Negroes in high places that represent us who do not know international and human rights law and keep us encapsulated in a political relationship that's killing us. And they want you to believe that if you vote for them, you can vote your way out of it. Well, baby, you can't vote your way out of this. You can't talk your way out of this. You can't walk your way out of this. You can't kiss ass out of this. We got to move. And we gotta move.
I keep telling black people you can't vote your way out of this shit, and they don't want to listen. And all they want to tell you about how your ancestors died for you to vote, or how your ancestors did this for you to vote.
Sis, can I clarify something? I don't know about their ancestors, but let me tell you about my ancestors. My ancestors didn't die to vote for no white man and their parties to keep us re-enslaved. That's not why they voted. They wanted a better condition. They wanted to reap the benefits of their labor. They wanted to keep their land. Our ancestors here in the South, we had land. But guess what? Because they did not want us on that land, they used physical force to remove us in certain places here in Georgia. Let's be real about this. But your puppet leadership, these Negroes, with their high top hats that represent us, who we didn't elect. These
butter biscuit eating Negroes.
We did not elect you. You were not elected. These self-appointed Negroes and these self-appointed or these white folks appointed them. I'm going to be real with you about it. That's why we're where we at right now. We didn't put our leadership that we have in power. What their leadership, what power they have, it does not trickle back to our communities because we don't control our communities. I agree that we need to pool our resources, but who control the tax base? Who control the licensing to open up your business? According to international law, we have a right to autonomy and self-determination to control our own area, our own territory, our own tax base, our own human capital. Even down to our own identity has been mislabeled, and they control that. But it's a way out of it. You use international and human rights law to do that. And that's what we have done. And that's why we work so hard to invite people to come and join us, to sign a declaration so they can realize their human rights. We're not making you give up anything. You're laying a layer of protection on top of what you already have. You have local rights, you have state rights, and you have federal rights, and you have a right that supersedes all of that. International and human rights, okay? International and human rights law holds states accountable, okay? When you depend on the criminal to protect your interests, you got a problem. And when we got Negro leadership running around here, and I don't care who they are, okay? I don't care at this point. Running around here telling us we need to continue to work domestically and try to work around this illegal plenary power. Look it up that they have over us. I have to cut my eyes at you a little bit. Do you want to be free, or do you want to continue to eat off these people's plate? And is that the foundation you laying for your household and your family and your children? Well, it's not the foundation I'm laying for mine. So here's what we have to do. We have to start calling a spade a spade. Now I want to get back to this murder.
Well, before we get into this, we got Sister Judy that asked this question: does he live or was he visiting someone in the area? I don't know what that.
We don't know because we haven't pulled any documents.
Why does it matter? Can't I go jog wherever the hell I want to go?
They jog where they want to. I mean, why would you ask a question like that?
white people be jogging in other people's neighborhoods all the damn time. Don't nobody just jump out and shoot them.
No.
I don't know what they got to do with anything. Honestly,
it has nothing
he has
to
a
do.
right.
Exactly. A human right.
Right to go jogging wherever the hell he want to go jog. Period.
Exactly. We have a right to jog, walk, run, lay down, sit down, roll over, play dead, take a shit, and wipe our ass if we want to.
Right.
Who does that? We're the only people who get killed, murdered in droves. Countless bodies, and we still sit idly by and be murdered in droves. Nobody does anything. Nobody says anything. Just sit idly by and wait to be picked off. Okay, today it was this young man's mother putting on the black dress, or in February, she had to wear the black dress. How many more black dresses are we going to put on? How many sad Negro spirituals are we going to set up in church and sing? Are we men or are we mice? I'm putting out the call to 200 black men who are ready to protect this nation. I don't know about you, Sista Yaa, but I don't feel safe right now. I got to protect myself.
Oh, no.
I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe.
I don't feel safe either.
I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I'm in fear for my family. I'm in fear for my friends. I'm in fear of my community. We live in a constant state of fear, and we should be, because we have poor leadership who drag their feet, who sit idly by, who want to look good for the camera, but you don't do anything concrete to stop this violence against us. Matter of fact, we're working on something right now. I cannot disclose it, but I was just researching the frequency of these acts of external violence. And I want to tell you something about violence. You have external violence and you have internal violence. The internal violence is what we do against each other. Mm-hmm. Run around here, getting cracked up, go snatching people's pocketbooks. You want to go rape little children, little girls. Go around here selling drugs in the neighborhood. You want to get out here, beef about a man, beat each other down, snatch each other's weave off. But when it's time for a real fight, you ain't nowhere to be found. You ain't nowhere to be found. You gangster when you killing each other. But when something like this happen, you can hear rat piss on cotton.
Yeah,
I got a problem with that. So that's internal violence. And we're going to have to deal with that because we have remedies for that. That is psychological. That is called fratricide. That is what we're committing. And guess what? The United States is responsible for that. And they're going to pay reparations for that. They're going to pay for that. We're working on that right now. Now, external violence is from the outside. And this violence that we have been witnessing, the frequency of it. And as a matter of fact, I believe another organization called the Malcom X Grassroots Organization, back in, I believe it might have been 2012, did a study. The frequency of the violence is every so many hours, a black man or a black person is being murdered. Well, I analyzed the external violence using an international assessment for mass atrocities and acts of attrition. Attrition is small attacks. The frequency, and based on my analysis, and I don't open my mouth unless I can prove what I say.
Absolutely.
We are on the cusp of a mass atrocity. Mm-hmm. On top of this coronavirus.
Yeah.
Okay? So, are we men or are we mice? We need 200 strong black men to register with the Afro-Descendant Nation. I don't care if you're crippled, you're blind, you're crazy, you got a record, you've been in the military. I don't care if you work for law enforcement. I don't care who you are. We need black men to stand up and do what they need to do to protect not only your family, but your community, to protect us as a people. We're not a simple minority. Okay? We are a people. And that's another thing. We've allowed our leadership to keep framing our problems like we're some simple minorities, some simple immigrants. We swam here by the Mayflower. My ancestors didn't swim on the Mayflower. They were already here. And the last wave, you enslaved them. And we ain't got to go nowhere. We're entitled to be here in the Americas with our settlements. And we're also entitled to be in Africa, to those countries who want us there. And they shouldn't have to foot the bill. If the United States can do it for Israel, they can foot that bill for repatriation to Africa. And when we get ready to come back, we're coming back right here because our ancestors, and we're still help building it. Why? Because you've colonized us over and over and over again. And we have leadership who knows this. These Negroes have sat at the UN. They know how things work. But to keep their coins in their pockets, their self looking good, and to keep their families doing well at our expense, they sell us a bag of dreams about this voting. Well, I'm putting out the call for resistance because the same way the United States monitors everybody's elections, theirs gets monitored too.
Yep.
No voting in this next election. No Black person should be voting. I'm not voting for nobody. I don't care who gets up there.
I stopped voting long time ago when I realized it was bullshit long time ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you can't convince some of our people. It's a game. It's a game. It's a game they playing on you.
It's called consent. It's called consent of the governed. As long as you keep those numbers up at a certain threshold, the United States look like they still got control of things. And they look like they represent everybody's interests. They can sit in the UN and act like they are the beacon of human rights. Okay? Yeah. They can sit in these other countries and go and under the guise of humanitarian aid and invade different countries all up in the Congo. Invade different countries all in South America.
Here down here, Venezuela trying to overthrow and disrupt, just got caught. Just some American missionaries just got caught the other day in Venezuela trying to start some shit. We in the middle of what y'all say is a pandemic. People dropping dead like flies.
You got resources to go invade.
But you got enough. You still finding a way to go down here to Venezuela and fuck with these people. You understand? Excuse my French.
No. Call a spade a spade. No, call a spade a spade. Call a spade a spade.
I just don't understand because at the end of the day, I keep telling our people, these people have been using the same playbook. They've been doing the same thing over and over. It hasn't changed. But some kind of way we have been lulled into submission.
The leadership. You see, let me tell you something. On the continent, they have visible neocolonialism. See, I want to get back to the history lesson. I want to move it on up from 1865 to 1955 with the Bandung Conference. During the Bandung Conference, that's when you had Asia liberating themselves, Latin America was decolonizing, Africa was decolonizing. They had a sham decolonization movement. Mm-hmm. Because what you have, because they genocide themselves out, the only violence, the difference between their violence and our violence is done in blackface. Mm-hmm. But when you do the research, it's the colonizers behind it.
Absolutely.
And that's a whole nother show. So we're gonna leave that alone. The bottom line is each household, each person has a political responsibility to secure their rights and not give consent to puppet leadership and who are no more than collaborators of your oppressor. Mm-hmm. Every time you go to that voting poll, you're saying it's okay to send billions of dollars to Israel. Mm-hmm. And yet Lil Ray said over here, got to depend on the food bank to feed him. But all of your tax dollars
And you're also saying it's okay to go drop bombs on innocent people in other countries who are just trying to live and take care of their families. And you know, this Barack Obama Negro, I keep trying to tell black people, this man killed more people. He's responsible for killing more people than any other president before him. But you can't tell black people nothing about Barack Obama.
Well, honey, you can discuss that thing with me any day because I have the documents of what he did over in Yemen and what's going on in Africa. It's no joke. And I want to go home too, but I'm not going with it like that. We have work to do. And we in the diaspora, we have to come together to help them work on Africa. We have to pool and secure our resources here to rebuild our homeland. And yes, I will be the first to say, our liberation and our self-determination is contingent on the governments of Africa. But we can't depend on bootlickers to help us. Because I want to tell you something. During the 60s, when Malcom X went to Africa, not all of those African leaders wanted to see us free. I want to make that perfectly clear. And not all of them want to see us free right now. You got some who has it in their mind that they're going to be the new Chinese when we secure our interests here in the United States. That's not going to happen. We're going to have a mutual relationship and we're going to reap the benefits mutually of being Africans. Do you follow me? Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of work to do. So we have to be clear on our politics. We need to stay out of their polls. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're the green, red, orange, or blue party. We don't owe them anything. We've got nothing. We have got not one.
We're stuck. We're stuck in this mentality that dang, that's my husband. We're stuck in this mentality talking about Republican and Democrat, and they have gotten us stuck into this with them. This loyalty to this party.
Yes.
Excuse me, sis. Yes. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Well, the bottom line is we have a right to secure our own interests and operate collectively in our best interests. We don't need the Republicans and we don't need the Democrats. We need to depend on ourselves. That's where we are right now. That is where we are right now as a people. So we need to just take that energy that we're worried about, because right now, let's look at the state of Georgia. You got the Grand Wizard, and I said it, up at the state capital of Georgia, and you got Lucifer sitting up there in the White House. No regard for our humanity, no regard for the African countries. Who calls another country shithole countries? With all of the history of the oppression and all of the exploitation, you call our countries shithole countries. Mm-hmm. Call Baltimore rat infested. Well, why don't we have no infrastructure? We don't have infrastructure because you take all of our tax dollars, you go raid, invade under the guise of humanity, and we're coming to save you.
Thank you. It's all a big ass lie.
To protect a
big ass lie. Yeah.
Thank you. To protect a whole nother country who is imposing themselves on top of a people who are already there.
Yeah.
Are we men or are we mice?
Yeah. And you use the military to go around bullying and dominating people and stealing resources. And I know a lot of our young people in the military, a lot of our people who are in the military, I was in the military, but I didn't understand what I was being used to further imperialism. You understand what I mean? I went in to get the GI Bill so I can finish my degree. I didn't understand at that time, but now I'm fully cognizant of what the U.S. military is used to do. It's not used to protect America. They'll tell you that they will protect America's interests, is what they're saying. And by America's interests, they mean that 1%, the billionaires, the rich people, because whatever they doing to these other people in these other countries is not benefiting you. Who stand up in the food line, who going to work for $15 an hour.
Shoot, in Flint, Michigan, they ain't even got water. 5 years, no water in Flint, Michigan. And that's not the only area. There are places near New Orleans,
Yep.
There's places near Alabama where we don't have infrastructure. Well, all of these things have to change. How do they change? They change with you. You have a right to change those things. Take away your consent. Take away their authority. Don't go to the polls. That's going to have an effect on them internationally. And I want somebody to come on here and prove me wrong. The same way the United States go around here monitoring polls, somebody's monitoring yours too. You got to have the consent of the government.
And not to mention that they rig all this shit. They lie. They still vote. Everything that they try to tell you is going on in somebody else's country. That is, they know it's happening right here. That's the thing.
Right.
But it's like we walking around with a veil on our face and not understanding that we are literally in the house with the beast. The beast that is going around causing all the problems in the world. And we, the people, are not doing anything to stop this beast.
We're complicit. Let me tell you why we're complicit. Because you do nothing. Because you continue to stay in a political configuration that does not represent you or your interests. You can step outside of the political configuration that the United States have put you in. We can step outside of the mislabeling identity that we've been placed in. Now, we do have some people who are Aboriginal and who can prove that they are there. But based on my research, the majority of us, we're mixed. And I'm not giving up my African heritage for nobody. If you want to be you, do you. Me and my family, we're doing us. And good luck at this point. Everyone has a right to self-determine their identity. But let me be perfectly clear. I don't care if you call yourself Aboriginal, Regional, Black, Blue, Cripple, Blind, Crazy. You're on the cusp of a mass atrocity. You haven't seen anything yet. Based on my research, this case that happened in February, that's not the only case out there unsolved. We have several cases where
it's solved. Let's be clear. We know who did it.
We know who did it, but I'm saying who has been brought to justice. That's what let me read it. We have a lot of cases where people have murdered our people and have not been brought to justice. That's called impunity. States are held accountable in international law. But when you think that offender is going to hold themselves accountable, you hold your breath and see what happens. You're going to kick the bucket first. Let me make that perfectly clear. These cases need to be taken out of the jurisdiction of the United States and taken to an international jurisdiction. We are up under a genocide, and I'm calling it. We don't know who's killing these people. We have a lot of missing children. We have a lot of missing women. Women go missing every day. Black women go missing. And the way that this young man was murdered, we don't know what's going on. They have something what they call hybrid warfare. And the acts of external violence parallel that hybrid warfare. And I want somebody to come on here and prove me wrong. Because I don't say anything I can't prove. I don't say anything I can't prove.
Now, this person, I know who he is. He just got some name, Admin WP4, coming out on the YouTube page. He's talking nonsense, but I'm going to tell you what he said anyway. Not voting is exactly what the elite want. Only 50% of people.
What did I just say? Let me tell you something. You have a human right to identify who you are. You have a human right to dictate your political form and your political configuration and your political relationship with the United States government. I do not consent to be subjected intergenerationally, every generation to poverty, and then blame my people. I'm sorry, I don't consent to that. I don't consent to Black men being murdered in droves and people incarcerated and mass incarcerated and picking cotton in 2020. I don't consent to that. But if you consent and you feel like you want to vote, good luck. But don't impose that on me. Good luck. They have something called self-determination. International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Article 1. I suggest everybody read it.
Repeat it again, sis.
The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. You can find self-determination, Article 1. The International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights.
Hold on, I'm typing. I want to put it on the screen. International Covenant
on Civil and Political Rights, Article 1.
On civil and political rights, Article 1.
International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, Article 1. They're called the Twin Covenants. It's called self-determination. Self-determination means you dictate your own identity. I'm not going around here digging up all these documents. I'm not going around here doing, I am who I say I am, and good luck to you who wants to go do all that. I don't have that kind of time. Ain't doing it. If you want to go to the polls and vote, good luck. I'm happy for you. But me, there's another way. And that way is holding the United States government accountable. People do not want to say the word and say that they're not accountable. They're not. They are misrepresenting you right now in the UN. They misrepresent you with their foreign policy. I do not consent to violating other countries' territorial integrity. I do not consent throwing other people's democratically elected presidents out of office, no matter how bad they are. And if
I don't consent to it either, I've been talking about it for years. I've been posting for years that this is what this government, this is what this country is doing around the world to people. But you know, honestly, sis, I got to tell you, I don't have a lot of confidence in our people. Because as long as if I'm post something from World Star by somebody fighting or doing something like that, you get all the comments in the world. But when I post about real serious things like what we're talking about and what this government is going around the world doing and how these Negroes, this Black caucus, I don't even know what purpose these Negroes serve.
Decoration, you know, decoration and window dressing. That's all them Negroes serve, and they don't represent me either.
And you can't get maybe one or two people to comment or say anything. It's like our people don't care about it. It's like they don't care. It's as long as they can go get them some Nikes and get in line to go get the new pair of Air Jordans, as long as they can go to the beauty shop and get some weave and get their nails done, you know what I mean? As long as they can, you know, drive whatever car they think is fly with some. That's all they care about. When you start talking about this stuff, they don't care.
Wait a minute. They care until guess what? One of their brothers get murdered. They don't care until they get jammed up. Then they expect everybody to come and run. Want everybody to come and support them. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know about you. I got faith in my people. I got faith in you. That's who I'm trying to connect with. People who are woke. People who are moving. You see what I'm saying? I'm not worried about the ones who's sitting in somebody's hair salon, in these nail shops. I'm not worried about them. I'm building with the people who are ready to move and lay a foundation, not just for us ourselves, but for the generations to come. And as a matter of fact, those are the people that I don't really want a relationship with, because they will be the ones to pull us back. What we're trying to do is lay a foundation for our people, lay a foundation for our children. The foundation that we lay of self-determination. I can see my grandbabies in Africa having businesses, flying back and forth with smiles on their faces, being loved by their people, their family in Africa, all over the world, because we have family all over the world. We are a large diaspora in Oceania. We have people in Asia. We have people in Europe. We in the Americas. We are numerous. We're just unorganized, and
we are not a minority.
No, we're not
a minority, and that's a word that they want to throw on us to keep us thinking. But see, once we realize that, in fact, on this planet, we are the majority.
Thank you.
We are the majority.
Thank you. Thank you. And with that majority, if we organize correctly, that means internally we have markets. We have trade. We can set up trade and employ our own people. We don't have to depend on these governments who already relegated us to trash. We're being set up for a whole genocide, not just here in the United States. Let's talk about what's going on in Brazil with the Quilombos. Right now, Trump is behind getting
Colombia
him kicked out
with the Afro-Colombia
and Colombia. All of them. We need to be connecting with them because they have the numbers. We can create states, micro states, and secure our interests. Set up security blocks. Set up special jurisdictions. Set up special trade jurisdictions specifically for us. We're entitled to that. So why do I want to just keep myself in a box thinking Republic or Democrat and maybe somebody will throw me a bone and let me open up my business? Nah, baby, I want to control it. I'm a control freak. If I can't control it, I don't want it. I say we go in for control. And not just here in the United States. I'm talking about on the whole continent. We need to be building relationships with the Afro-Descendants in Brazil because they got the numbers. We need to be building relationships with the ones in Colombia, in Central, South America, everywhere, on the continent, in Asia, in the Middle East. We are numerous. We need to be organizing. We are at risk for a genocide globally. In the Congo, we're being genocided out. We're being genocided out, and nobody's doing absolutely nothing. They frame it another way. You want to blame the leadership, but who's behind that poor leadership? Colonizers. Learn your human rights. Start with the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, because that gives you control of your destiny. Is it right? I was an educator. I worked with special ed. And I'm not going to lie, I was so disappointed in the behavior that I used to see from my students. Sometimes I used to cry. But you know what? It's not their fault. I would hear some of my colleagues say, oh, we can only control what's in the school. That's a damn lie. You control what's in that school, and we have a political right to control what's outside of that school. We need our own institutions, our own schools. We need our own healthcare system, specifically for us, because we're not the same people biologically. We need a military. We need a security force. We need two. We need a civilian military, and we also need a public one. Someone that protects us and protects our interests. Under international human rights law, we have that right to have our own well-regulated militia. Article 51 of the UN Charter says we have a right. We have a right under the Decolonization Conventions to remove ourselves from this position we're in by any means necessary. And guess what? States have a right to assist other countries. I'm putting that on the record right now. Come on, black man. I need 200 black men who are willing to stand up and protect not only our
I need to go read this. See, you educate me. I need to go read this.
Yes, ma'am. See? It's there. It's there. And I want somebody to come on here and prove me wrong. What happened to that young man is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to us as a people. It's a disgrace to our leadership. It's a disgrace when people see us around the world, African Americans, we are the laughing stock of the world. I know that for a fact because I have traveled internationally, and you have too, Sister Yaa. The questions that I got, why are you in the conditions you are, is because the only images that they see is us shuffling and jiving, dancing, shooting the ball, being somebody else's gladiator. Well, where's our gladiators that's going to protect our nation? Okay. Where are you? How long? How many more black bodies got to drop before we wake up and smell the coffee?
Right.
I'm putting out the call because I want to go to the Capitol. I need 200 black men to go with me. Who going with me? Who's going to tell Kemp enough is enough? 3 months and these criminals are still walking the street, could kill somebody else at any time. You kill black people on sight for less.
Yeah.
Who does that? Our human rights are being violated over and over and over again because our leadership frame our problems in the wrong context. We have a human rights issue, not a civil rights issue. We have a political issue, a legal issue. We have these issues that need to be discussed internally. And then we need to make some external moves. Stay out of those elections. Don't go to the polls. And don't let anybody make you feel bad for going. Nobody's going to shame me for not consenting to be oppressed. And don't let nobody shame you. The goddamn jig is up. I need 200 black men to go with me to the Capitol. And I'm serious. As a heart attack or stroke, whichever way you want to go out, it don't matter with me. Let's do this thing. Let's do it. And let's do it the right way. It was that young man in February. It could be your son, your daughter. It could be you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do politically and legally to protect yourself? Protection comes in all forms: physical, mental, legally, and politically, and economically. We're in deficit. We're in a deficit of all of it. What are you going to do? Who's going with me to the Capitol? Let's go. Black people, we have a whole political configuration so you can realize your rights. We have a lot of young mothers because of the condition that we're in. They fall victims to drugs. And I say victims. Yeah, they have a choice in somewhat. But what foundation have we laid for them? Losing their children. CPS can go in, carte block, and just take our children. Okay? Take them. Just take them. They don't need them. Just take them. And move them back and forth to other states without the parents' consent. Okay? That's what's going on right now. How can
they've been doing? Listen, they've been doing that. That's what I'm trying to say. This taking people's children from them. These people have been doing that since they came out of Europe, came into Africa. That's even how boarding schools and stuff got started. They removed the children. They did that to the native people over here. They removed the children away from the parents. You know.
Well, let me tell you something. All of that can be stopped because we were entitled to the same status as Native Americans. Okay? Because of the time frame we were here. They have last year, the United States government celebrated a farce. 1619 was not our point of entry. Our ancestors been over here for many, many moons. Okay? They've been here. Now, based on that fact and the fact that they have us as a simple minority, like we swam beside the Mayflower, they deprive us of the rights, land rights, rights to autonomy. We have a right to have our own CPS system, our own jurisdiction, our own school system. Okay? So, sign your declaration and declare your rights. That declaration is a legal tool. You can walk up in the courtroom and fight with that. But you cannot fight in somebody else's house. And when I say their house, in their political configuration, because you consent to it. Well, I don't consent to it. Legally, politically, or economically. So I just had to get this off my chest, Sister Yaa. I really appreciate you letting me vent. I try to be very diplomatic and wear a certain face, but I'm not wearing that face anymore. I'm gonna tell the truth.
No, it's a time to be angry. You know, it's been time to be angry. It's been time, and at some point, you know, our people. I don't know. We're gonna just lay down and be lambs for the slaughter, or we're gonna stand up. I don't know. I pray that we stand up because this. It's too much. It's overwhelming now. It's like, you know, it's every day. It's damn near every day. Here we are in the middle of a pandemic and they still killing us. We can't even get a break during the pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta kill us. Look, we gotta wait a minute. We gotta worry about the coronavirus. Now they done sent these doggone what kind of hornets from Asia?
Yeah.
Now we gotta worry about the hornets. Worry about somebody killing us all the time, whether it's the police or whether they on duty, off duty. Worry about the vigilantes in the background murdering us. I mean, it's just a never ending. When do we stop? It's like, damn, do we get a break? I thought, the crime went down. The criminals stopped breaking in people's houses. At least stop doing your dirt to us. So I mean, at what point do we stop? When do we stand up and be the people we're supposed to be? Our ancestors didn't take this stuff laying down. And they didn't die to be eating at somebody's table or to go take a dump in somebody's toilet. They died because they wanted their lot in life. Let's be perfectly clear. Quit lying to our children. Quit teaching lies to your children. Quit perpetrating the fraud. And we're going to start out of these politicians too. We're going to start outing them. Let's get a show going on. We're going to out them. We need to out one every week. We need to out these sellouts. Let's out them. Let's start outing them. We're going to out the local sellouts, the state sellouts, and we'll out the federal ones, and we're going to out the global sellouts too. Because see, we talking about going to Africa. They got all that gold and coltan. I want to get a business going over there so we can employ some of our youth and lay down some foundations and do trade. We cannot do that with these bootlickers in place. We got to uproot them and out them and shame them. Shame them. Dig them up and shame them. Just shame them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because their negligence is killing us as a people. Mm-hmm. We're not a simple minority. We're a people. That right there is a legal and a political connotation, has a legal and political connotation to it. We are a people. Mm-hmm. Our status, we're indigenous to the United States because we were born right here. And it wasn't in no 1619 point of entry either. Wake up and smell the coffee, Black people, original people, African people. I don't care what you call yourself. Wake up and smell the coffee. We're not safe.
Yeah.
We're not safe at all. Now, I want to talk about reparations. We're entitled to billions of dollars. If Donald Trump could cough up $1,200 per person, he can cough up our reparations. And we're working on that case right now too. And reparations entitles for us a special jurisdiction, autonomy, access to and above the sea, and trade, and guarantees a non-repetition and a treaty or a compact. Okay? We need our own security. We need to police ourselves where we are the majority populations. If you're 70% of a population in a given area, settlement, or city, then we should be controlling that police force. They should be trained because we are a special population under the 4th Geneva Conventions in international and human rights law. So they will know how to handle us as a population. Okay? There's a lot of things that we have to come together and have internal conversations about. We have the political configuration to do that. We're on Facebook every single week begging people to sign a declaration. Give us the authorities to fight for you internationally. Give us the authority to bring these cases to the international arena, a neutral arena. So we got backup internationally, okay? Not all countries are in the United States corner and go along with their human rights abuses. We have a right to assistance. Matter of fact, the UN has agencies that will help us according to our political configurations, set up our own economy. We had an economy, but it was absorbed. It was taken and misappropriated. That's what Dr. Claude Anderson is talking about. He's using domestic language. But what I'm talking to you about is the international language and the international assessment. which takes it out of the offender's jurisdiction and into a neutral jurisdiction. Please sign your declaration. Please join us. Go to our website. Read the information we put out. It could save your life. Not only save your life, save your children's life. We're not doing this for fanfare. We're not trying to look good. We set up nights and nights and nights. We go without. We take menial jobs so we can get this work done. We need you. We need Black people to stand up for themselves. But these men, we need you. I'm talking about from the man on the street corner. I don't care where you are, what class you think you are, whether you can read, write. I don't care if you have Braille. We got a place for you. You have to read Braille. We need you. Stand up. That's all it takes. Brother Ramsey from Detroit. Every Monday and Wednesday and Friday, this brother has been working diligently on the ground, has been beat up by the police, been just abused, can't even go and travel to go through airports without being stopped, held, harassed, because he's fighting for the people in Detroit. Let me tell you what I saw in Detroit when I went up there with Brother Ramsey. I spoke to Black women who were working poor and who had been homeless 2 and 3 years. These were not crackhead women. These were not uneducated women. These were not the welfare queens that we see in the media when we talk about our economic condition. These were working poor women. Working poor. I saw an elderly man who clearly had psychological problems, homeless, hungry, eating out of the trash can. This is what Brother Ramsey's talking about. He begs Black men on all of his calls, just please stand up. We ain't talking about doing nothing crazy. We're just talking about standing up. But you can't get nobody to do nothing.
That's a damn shame.
It's a damn shame. It's a crying shame. It is a crying shame. So I'm begging. I'm on here asking people to please sign your declaration. Give us the authority to do what we need to do. Next, if you have the resources, join us. We need the manpower. We need the capacity. Study. We need people to come in with us and take our courses. We can modify the fee. We can modify the coursework. We just need to build a capacity. So when we move, we're moving right. So this time, we're going to take it all the way to the bank. And we have a 5-year plan. And the plan is in place right now. We're already going through certain phases. But we need you. We need you. Don't let another Black body drop. It could be your son. It could be your daughter. It could be your cousin. It could be your best friend. And I'm serious, as a heart attack. Join us. We're owed trillions of dollars. They make fun of you. They talk about you. They talk about you in the media. They talk about our children. But they don't talk about what you did to us. You don't talk about the effects that it has on us. And they damn sure ain't going to talk about how much they owe, but they owe. And you going to pay. One way or the other, you will pay. We're going to see to that in this lifetime. So, with that being said, please join us. Join the Confederation.
Sister, some people are asking for the link, the website.
It is. Let me get it because, honey, I have to write it down. It is www.adconfederation.com. www.adconfederation.com. If you're interested in our courses, just go there and register. Leave a message, or you can message me. If you don't have a whole lot of money, but you're still interested, go ahead and register. We need the manpower. If you don't have a whole lot of time, Dr. Ansari can modify your coursework. But we need all hands on deck at this point.
Couple things I want to discuss. I jotted down some notes I wanted to just briefly go over. you all know that COVID-19, Black people all over, no matter where in this country, have been the ones disproportionately dying. A lot of these nurses are basically saying that a lot of these people don't have to die, that there's a lot of malpractice going on in these hospitals. I've seen several videos of nurses, some of them white, basically in tears, saying a lot of people are literally just being murdered. They're just not dying from COVID-19. They're being murdered because of all of the malpractice. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but a lot of things are going on in these hospitals. It's to the point now, I've decided that if I were to get COVID-19, I treat myself in the house. I'm not going no hospital.
I ain't going either. I don't go to them folk, honey. I ain't going. Honey, I'm going to use grandma remedy.
I'm not trying to tell nobody else what to do. I'm just telling y'all what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. Right. I think I know enough what to do to get me and my family through it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trusting these people. And plus half these tests, that's another thing. These tests, I think they probably giving people the COVID-19 with these damn tests. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust them. We have too much history with these people for us to just be so naive with them the way we are. You know what I'm saying?
Sister Yaa, if I may, we need our own healthcare system because we're not the same people. Our makeup is not the same as theirs. So it's the medicine.
Saying that too, sis.
It's the medicine.
A lot of what I've been saying. I keep telling
it's the medicine that's conflicting with our
chemistry. I keep telling Black people this. I keep telling Black people, you have something going on inside your body chemically that's different from other people, other races of people.
We can't
I even had some people in the medical profession had to admit that I was right because certain medicines work a certain way of us. Some of it don't work at all on us. We need our own scientists and doctors that are going to be doing things specific for our chemical makeup for our body.
That's
and
right.
That's not to say I'm not, even though I personally believe we better. I'm just not saying that. I'm saying we different. You know what I'm saying?
We are distinct.
There's nothing wrong with that.
We're distinct. It's not being, and let me tell you something. Because you want to protect your interests and you want to protect yourself, you're not racist. We're not racist. You're not being racist when you're saying those things. You're saying you come from a distinct people with a different chemical makeup. Some of us cannot handle sulfur-based drugs. Let's be perfectly clear. We're not the same people chemically. Right. So therefore, you're not wrong with saying that. And you're not wrong with wanting to control your own medical system, your own system, our own school system. Our children have been subjected to trauma in ways that outnumber any minority here in the United States. And they're subject in these schools to racism over and over and over and over and over and over again. They're told they're inferior, which is a human rights violation in itself. They're misidentified. Their history is misidentified in the curriculum, which is a form of psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Let's be perfectly clear here. We have work to do. All of this, the stuff that we do as a people, not having the right conversations, not moving in the right direction, that has to stop. We are on the cusp of a mass atrocity. You better think about who is occupying your state capitol. You better think about who and what is occupying that White House right now. And some of y'all, because we don't know who voted for him, when they pull those curtains, voted for him.
The electoral college, see, that's a whole nother thing. You don't choose who the president is going to be. These people who are in the electoral college are the ones. They select who the president is going to be.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
To me, it's simple. You're not the chooser. You don't decide. They've proven that. Al Gore won the popular vote, but did Al Gore win the presidency? No, he didn't.
It's rigged.
You know what
to serve their, it's rigged to serve their political and economic interests and misappropriate all others, and specifically ours. Our labor every day that we're in the political configuration that we're in and not exercising our human rights, we're losing money and we're getting closer to a mass genocide. I'm going to be honest with you. Populations who don't protect themselves, they put themselves in a position to be genocided out. They don't have a use for us anymore. They don't have no use for us. So we are a liability. They have no reason to protect your life, and they have no reason to protect your rights. You're going to have to do it. We're going to have to do this. We're going to have to do this.
Some things I wanted to point out about this COVID-19. So they're rushing to open back up. They're pushing to open back up, but I noticed that they are opening up really all the places where the Black folks go. You know what I'm saying? And they know Black people are struggling because we are economically the lower class. It's us that, if you can't get the unemployment, if you can't get a DCF, to give you some food stamps, these landlords are still asking for their rent. So they know that our people, we don't have the money and resources to sit in the house. So our people got to go to work, and then we're going to be exposed to the virus, and so, I don't know what the solution is for that, but it is what it is. But I just want our people to protect themselves. Also, I want to talk about this social distancing. In New York, they show where white people are violating the rules on social distancing, and they are being handed masks. They're being treated nice. Nobody is doing anything, but the Black people that they find that are violating the rule, they getting beat upside the head. You see what I'm saying? It's a total stark different treatment in the way they treat Black people and white people. The police was in the park in I think it was in Brooklyn. White people everywhere. The police was just handing out masks, handing out bottled water to the white people. But just across where there was a young Black man. I guess he violated the rule, and they beat this brother upside his damn head. You see what I'm saying? So just for social distancing. Another thing, everybody wearing masks, but when Black men wear masks and go in the store, they suspicious. They suspect. Everybody's scared of the Black men.
That's a pretext to kill them.
Got on masks.
But wait a minute. Let me tell you what they can do, what they will do. And they could do this. They could use that as a pretext to shoot.
Yeah.
And they probably get away with it. Where's Zimmerman? He shot Trevon. He's still walking around. Ain't nobody picked him up yet. Walking around.
And ain't no Black person went did nothing to him either. Not even Trayvon's own daddy.
Ain't even scratched him or pinched him. I ain't pinched the nigga. I ain't pinched him.
No.
So, Sista Yaa, it's depressing when we think about things like this, but there's a way out of it. And I don't say anything that I can't prove. I don't promote anything that I wouldn't do. We need to look towards international and human rights law to secure our interests, to do the things that we need to do, because it brings us into a jurisdiction that's more favorable to us. You want to get to Africa? We going. You just going to go before me because I ain't got no money to go right now. I got a reparations case I got to get. I'm real talk. I'm going with you. I'm going to see you over there. But I'm coming with some money because somebody owe us a check and I want it. And I'm going to get it. I work on it every single day. I just need you. I need people to sign those declarations. Give us the authority to do what we need to do. Give us the
I'll
authority.
definitely sign. I will sign.
All we need is a John Henry, and we're going to do the rest. We need people involved. We need our Black men to stand up. We need the security force. We need our security people. We need people to protect our interests in our neighborhoods, in our families. We have a large population of mental health people that are walking around, that are committing crimes. If we had our own men trained in our community that we can call on, we wouldn't have to call the police or be scared to call the police to pick them up and get them to the mental health facility, because we have a force of somebody that we can call right now. But our Black men won't stand up. Please stand up. Please join us. We're not going to ask you to do anything to hurt you. We're not going to put you in a position to hurt anybody else. But we do need you to stand up for our human rights. Us women here, we have a right to be protected. We have a right not to worry about our children every time. If you have a male child, every time they get in the car and leave, you calling if they're 5 minutes late or they're not where they're supposed to. Nobody knows how that feels if you have a Black male child. You don't want them to go out of town because you're afraid that something's going to happen. Certain places. That takes a toll on you mentally. And we're entitled to reparations because of that. I don't feel safe here. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to feel safe because I'm asking the men to step up. Step up.
Let's see what we can do, sister. I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't feel safe either. I don't feel safe.
We're not.
And it's within my home with my husband, I do, but overall, generally, no, I don't. As a Black woman with Black children, Black grandchildren in this country, I don't feel safe. This is a whole nother reason why I've decided that because I did feel safe in Africa. I did. And I felt freer than I ever felt in my life. Even though I'm not saying it's perfect, we have some work to do over there as well.
We have a lot of work to do over there.
But I can say that living there was better for me psychologically, emotionally, mentally, physically, everything. The food was better quality food. Everything, like, I had a sense of wellness, overall wellness, and not stressed and not constantly worried and think, over there. So that's why I choose that place, because that's what I want for my everyday life, is that, not having to think about all this shit all the time. You know what I mean?
And you don't have to apologize for that. You do not have to. That's your human right. You have a right. If you want to repatriate, that's your right. As a matter of fact, you have a right to do it up on the United States government's dime. Why? Because they circulate our tax dollars to pay for Israel for a crime that was committed in Germany. Pay for your crime that you commit right here.
Right.
So no, I'm not going to spend one dime of my money. I'll go to visit. But when I go get that dual citizenship, we're going to have a whole system in place. And we're going to be very secure, because we're going to secure our interests there too. I'm in contact with Africans on the continent as well. They're mobilizing right now, securing their interests. What happened with the Chinese? They're tired. They're securing their interests. They're making that way so we can come home. But we're not going to put the United States in the position, you just go away over there. You just go over there with nothing in. You know how they do us. Now you're going to pay this time, baby. You're going to get it.
And Sister Judy suggested that you work with the Nation of Islam, Fruit of Islam, on the issue of security. Have you?
No, honestly. No. But no, let me be diplomatic. I will work with anybody who wants to sign a declaration and join us as an organization. Because see, I just can't individually join with you. I have to see eye to eye with your organization. I have to know your organization want to see your people free. See, you can't stand on a platform and talk get whitey politics with me, but when somebody else is trying to actually make a move to free their people, you the first one out there to stop it. And I'm gonna leave that alone.
All right.
I don't get in bed with everybody.
I hear you, sister. I hear you. You ain't got to say no more. I got you. All right now. Well, let's see if there's anybody else, any other questions. We want to thank our dear sister Elaina. Man, I think it's been a very powerful, very informative. I want to ask everybody to where is this? Where I'm talking the chat? I want to ask everybody to please go on the website, sign that declaration. I'm definitely going to be doing it. If that's what the sister need, let me know how else I can get involved and help out. I'm definitely going to go read the article. What was it?
International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Article 1. Your right to self-determination. I'm definitely gonna get off and jump off and go read it. Okay. All right. Let's see. We got any other? No. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Sister Judy. Thank you, Sister Elaina, for coming on. And man, please let's do it again sometime. Hey, you know what? Hey, you got me in the pocket. Look, we're gonna be working on some stuff together, and I will keep you informed.
All right.
And thank you for allowing me on your platform. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you so much. And y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you, Brother Ahmed, for posting that. LeVar Faison wants to know, is the article on the website?
Yes. As a matter of fact, if he goes to www.adconfederation.com, he will see all of the articles on the website, and he'll also see some things that we file with the United Nations. We filed a request for decolonization, and we've done some other things too. Everything is on the website. And of course, I'm on Facebook.
When do you anticipate getting some response from the United Nations on this?
Well, right now we're working on some things right now, putting all of our ducks in a row. Consent is a major factor right now. So we're just making sure we get all of our ducks in a row. Once we do what we need to do consensually wise, because we're moving as a nation. We are a declared nation, and we have declared a political and legal space and economic space for our people. However, we must meet a threshold in terms of consent. And that is what we're working on right now. And if we don't get that threshold, we cool with that. We're just going to exercise our rights as a tribe. It don't even matter. But at this point, we have moved away from civil rights. Civil rights, you're waiting on the offender to get justice.
Yeah.
I am not going, waiting on the rapist to help me. Who does that?
But this is my question. I know I've held you for over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I have some reservations about the United Nations, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
It's because these are European people as well,
mm-hmm.
for the most part, and I don't see them stepping in to help anybody. What was done to Syria, what was done to the Palestinians, what was done in Libya. I haven't seen the UN do anything to stop America from doing anything to any of those people. I don't see the UN stopping America in Venezuela. I don't see them doing anything. So what is it that makes us think that by going to the UN, they're going to do something on our behalf?
Because our nations, African nations, are there. Because we have Venezuela there. We have support there. Whereas opposed to, it's like the two of lesser evils. See, you have African nations there. You have nations that do not go along with the United States there. And you have a wide gamut of agencies and assistance. Yeah, the Palestinians are still in the same spot that they're in politically and in somewhat legally. But at the same time, they get $6 billion per year for their infrastructure to assist with trade. They have an agency called UNCTAD that goes in and makes sure that they have access to what they need. We don't have a budget that we're working with. Ours is being absorbed. So that's a mute argument. African countries are sitting at the UN. They're not sitting in the White House. They're pulling out of a jurisdiction to a jurisdiction that's more favorable to you. They have a doctrine called the right to assist. In the political configuration that we're in, African countries can work with us in terms of humanitarian aid. Humanitarian aid just don't come in giving somebody a drink of water. It comes in funds for development, infrastructure, loans, grants, all of those things. That's why we say pull out of the jurisdiction of the United States into a neutral jurisdiction. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I understand. Okay. All right.
Well, you have a wonderful day.
You too, sister. Let's do it again soon.
All right, we'll chop it up.
Now, in terms of this brother in Georgia, what do you need?
Excuse me now?
In terms for this situation in Georgia with this brother, what do we need?
200 or more Black men to stand up. We need to go to the Capitol.
How do they contact you?
They need to go online and sign a declaration. And all of their information will be there.
But I'm saying, how do they contact you in terms of this issue in Georgia?
Well, they can go through the website, sign their declaration. They can contact me on Facebook as well.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, sis.
All right. Thank you, sis. You have a wonderful rest of the day, okay?
You too.
All right, my people. I love y'all. Black Power. I hope y'all found this show informative and helpful. Let's get it popping. Share this video with all your friends and families, guys. We got to do something. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. And like the sister said, we on the cusp of something. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know y'all feel it. I'm not fit. I feel like some shit is getting ready to happen. I don't know what. And so we got to get mobilized. We got to get organized. We got to protect ourselves, protect our families, protect our communities. We got to stop pussyfooting around. That being said, I love y'all. Peace. Black Power.